Meteorologist Joe Bastardi, latest edition of Whether or Not. Actually, I'm recutting this because I didn't like the way the other one turned out. I thought I should emphasize other faces besides my own. How's that? Okay, so this Whether or Not is talking about whether or not Al Gore has some explaining to do. This statement was made in 2008. Now, you recall, during election years, these statements really get ramped up. Like 2004, when John Kerry was running for president, he said that he thought the Arctic ice cap was going to disappear by 2013. And of course, we came around 2008, and there it is, that 2013 figure, because 2008 plus 5 is 2013. Okay. Now, you may disagree with everything else I say, but 2008 plus 5 is 2013. In the meantime, here's the Arctic ice cap, August 2013. Doesn't look like it disappeared. The other thing is, I guess he has a way out here, because I don't know what a polarized cap is. The North polarized cap. You have to think that he's referring to this, but we don't call them, they're polar ice caps, okay? Or Arctic ice cap or whatever, but not polarized, all right? It's a minor point, but he could say, well, I didn't say the Arctic ice cap, I said the polarized cap. And the polarized cap is this place over here, and it's gone. So, I don't know, all right? But I think he got some explaining to do. Here we are, 6 years after that, and we still have a lot of Arctic ice. Of course, it's only June, and it's quite warm in the Arctic right now. So actually, the models are predicting sea ice extent to increase relative to averages. In other words, the melting is not going to be as fast as usual. So we're quite low now, but they predict it to try to increase. Now, I've noticed that they do that every year. But what it does mean is that we're probably not going to see a record low this year, and we're certainly not going to see the ice cap completely melted this year. Now, I hear they've moved it back to 2050, which is interesting because none of us will be here. Not even people that are 5 years old, because if the world ends in less than 12 years now, right? I mean, that's what we heard. It was a joke. Oh, I was just kidding around or whatever. Well, guess what? If the world is ending in 12 years, by 2050, if the ice cap's not there, it is a moot point, all right? But what's interesting is that I got a text yesterday from my daughter. Well, I get texts from my daughter every day. I see my daughter almost every day. But she says, Daddy, why is it that if Al Gore believes all this warming is coming, why is he building or buying a mansion, or why did he buy a mansion in Malibu? And there's supposedly the mansion, there's the beach right there. It's back away from the beach, but you're in a prime area for mudslides and one storm after another. And I don't know if this is still now or 2011, but it certainly looks like in the wake of all these storms that erased the perma drought that they were forecasting back in 2016, right? Remember? California was going into a perma drought, right? You guys remember that, right? And they had these monster storms come in, reverse the entire situation out there. So they have normal to above normal snowpack, for instance, and plenty of water for right now. How come the house is still standing, okay? And why, see, this is what I'm saying. Why would you buy that house there? For me, for instance, let's say I was the leader of the global warming thing. I would not buy a mansion anyway because it doesn't look right. It doesn't look right that you're getting, and folks, don't misunderstand me. God bless Al Gore for the money he's made. People want to pay him to do that. That's capitalism. That's competition. Hey, I don't have a problem with that. What I have a problem with is you telling me that the world or the ice caps are going to melt, and then they don't, and nobody says boo about it, and then you go buy a house here right in harm's way. Maybe it's because you think, well, I'll get hit by a couple of storms and show people how bad it is out here. I don't know. But the fact of the matter is that there's some interesting contradictions. Again, listen, God bless you, you make all that money, really, okay? Because if people want to put their dollars behind someone, that's fine with me. I don't have an argument. But don't go telling me that the ice caps are going to melt and that sea levels are rising so bad and these places are going to get devastated, and then buy a house within a half mile of the beach, for goodness sakes. All right? Same thing in the Hamptons, folks. I mean, you realize a 38 hurricane, depending on who you believe, either at a 30, 40, or 50-foot wall of water come across the Hamptons. You ever been out to the Hamptons? They got 5-foot dunes, but all these beautiful houses built there. Aren't you just inviting bad things to happen? But the main thing about this is we are all relieved that the North Polarized Cap has not disappeared. And maybe someone should get Al Gore to explain why it hasn't disappeared and why it's pushed back to 2050. That's all. Accountability, right? All right. That's it for now. Enjoy the weather. It's the only weather you got.